What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day today. We actually did have a decent monthly close for Bitcoin. You can see we are actually slightly up today, a little less than 1%. We're still not above the $11,000 level. You'll notice though, however, there is still that massive uncertainty in the markets. You can see right here, we're still unable to break back above 11K, and having a look at the fear and greed index, even though we are slightly in the fear today at around 45, I would still say that this is relatively neutral, meaning that right now, people really don't know what they want to do, right? So in today's video, what I want to discuss specifically is the fact that a lot of people are actually calling for a super bearish October. They're actually calling it OctoBEAR, okay? Like as in it's going to be an extremely bearish month, right? Now we do know we have a lot of uncertainty in the regular markets, a lot of people just sort of waiting to see what's going to happen in the US presidential election. So I do want to talk about a few things. Should you be worried? Are we actually looking to retest these crazy levels? Well, there's actually one inverse fractal that's been sort of floating around the internet today, that if Bitcoin follows this, it actually suggests a potential plummet of Bitcoin all the way back down to around the $6,000 levels. Now, should you be panicking? Am I panicking? Well, I'm going to talk about it realistically because there's actually two things, one specifically related to the global environment right now that actually could potentially surprise some of the bears and be very good for the Bitcoin price. And second is something that I'm pretty sure no one is talking about right now, and it specifically has to do with crypto, DeFi specifically, and why it actually could be very good for the Bitcoin price, although technically it's not really something great for DeFi, but it could be good for Bitcoin. So we're going to talk about all that today. And yeah, that sounds good to you. You know what to do. If you are not subscribed, definitely consider it. Oh, and not to mention the fact that there is $4.3 trillion in cash waiting on the sidelines. We'll get into all that as well. But first and foremost, let's dive into the important part, which is what is going on with Bitcoin. So you can actually see right here, this is an incredible close. Now, although we did have a bearish month for September, we had a big red candle that we put in here on the monthly. Crazy enough, you could see we actually closed about $10 higher than this level that we wanted to close based on the June candle where we had the high last year in 2019, right? So yeah, interestingly enough, that actually was sort of bullish, but is it bullish enough to prepare us or to propel us upwards in the potential upcoming OctoBEAR, as they're calling it, instead of October? Well, having a look right here, once again, we are being stomped out again here, sort of at this, see, like, as you guys can see right here, we have this big triangle formation, but we've also formed a smaller one inside on the CME, and you can see right here, it was providing a bit of support back here, but we've been held down once, and we've been held down again. Now, obviously, the more that we keep hitting the resistance and we can't break through, this does signal a potential retest of some of those lower levels. Having a look right here, we do have an opportunity to move down a little bit lower, potentially retesting this trend right here. Not sure why I moved that, but you can see we have had this sort of legacy trend line back here since November, and it has been holding us nice except for when we had this, really bad scare down here. I believe that was a black swan event, so that could bring Bitcoin down to about 9,500, still a little bit in no man's land, but as Yoda pointed out over here on Twitter, this is actually an inverse, okay, of the 2020 chart of Bitcoin versus what happened in 2017. So if you actually take the chart and you sort of flip it, it looks something like this, and this could potentially be a bearish inverse fractal. Now, we know fractals are just for fun. They don't always play out. We like to look at them, right? They kind of give us a hint as to where the market could be moving. So does this signal that we are potentially looking for, a dump down to the $6,000 level? Probably not. probably just having fun with this fractal. But as we've seen, there is a lot of uncertainty leaning a little bit more towards the fear right now in the market. So what I want to talk about is the fact that there is considerable uncertainty with 36 days and 2 more rounds of debating left. The leading financial analyst from Fundstrat, Tom Lee, actually had this to say about traditional markets. And I'm also going to tie this into why this could affect Bitcoin, but then I want to go into the fact that there could actually be some hidden bullish potential that some people might be overlooking right now. Now, starting with what Tom says, he says markets are really nervous moving into these 36 days. One of the really important things we have to think about is, when does nervousness price in the worst that's yet to come? When do you think the worst is priced in? Now, keep in mind, markets do tend to buy the rumor, sell the news, or in the case of panic, maybe sell the rumor, buy the news, potentially. I'm not too sure how that goes, but you could basically say that, you know, if everyone is anticipating things to get a little bit crazy, they could have already sold everything that they were anticipating on selling, and this could potentially be the worst, right? We have the second and more severe uncertainty coming also from fears of a resurgence of the virus, right? We do have a lot of cases again in the US. Over in Europe, people are worried about it. European countries like UK and France reporting a surge. You can see on the charts in the US right here, we do have higher numbers of cases, even surpassing India with 4 times the population and 10 times the population density, right? There are many reasons to believe also that the top might be in for the year. Have we seen the best? Was that it? Are we going to have a bloody Christmas? Well, Tom Lee, who accurately predicted new all-time highs in stock prices after bottoming in the beginning of the year, is preparing to buy back in again. He says, I think stocks are not in a downtrend because, number one, there's still $4.3 trillion in cash on the sidelines. I don't think in the history of any financial market in the world do you ever have an absolute top when there is 20% of the equity sitting in cash. Now, while the increased correlation with stock markets come with the fears mentioned above, an economic revival could weigh down on gold as investors begin to take bigger risks. But here is something to consider. Not only do we have all of that cash waiting on the sidelines, the question is, what are they going to do with this cash when it comes time to reinvest it? Obviously, they're not going to sit in cash. Cash is just a short-term hedge. We all know that if you do keep your money in US dollars, you are guaranteed to lose 2 to 3% every year, no matter what, guaranteed, right? Well, investors in Bitcoin and other crypto assets are actually potentially having a reason to feel bullish regarding recent developments in US relating to negotiations over fiscal stimulus packages. That's right. The White House and the US Congress have managed to reach a deal that would provide a nice boost for both the US stock market and presumably other major equity markets around the world. Excuse me. If they reach a deal. They have not yet. They're working on it, right? When all of the traders on those trading platforms like Robinhood or even Bitcoin traders, whatever it may be, crypto traders, etc., do receive that money either in the form of a second stimulus check or perhaps even a return of $600 weekly federal unemployment benefit boosts, what are they going to spend it on? And if we do potentially have these lockdowns happening again, not that I'm looking forward to this, but let's say it does happen, what do you think? Where do you think this money is going to end up going? In fact, you saw all of these people that were staying home during the lockdown. You saw people, Robinhood signups were skyrocketing through the roof, right? People were actually getting involved, interested in things like Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. You started seeing all the TikTokers talking about Doge, etc. And even if it doesn't happen, as we have seen in the past few months, if we do have the relief package again, it should boost investors' confidence and result in more money going into both equities and crypto, which should result in the prices of both Bitcoin and those actually going higher. Now, I do want to just mention one thing super quick. Another reason why I do believe that we are going to see Bitcoin price going up as well is because of not only Bitcoin's integration into DeFi. A lot of people have said, the Lightning Network, it's a failure, it doesn't work. Okay, fine. We have seen a lot of wrapped Bitcoin. So, it's all about finding solutions. You have the I'm not sure if it's Celo or Celo blockchain platform designed for financial applications, has now created a bridge to Bitcoin via ERC20 tokens called TBTC. We've also seen wrapped Bitcoin as well. And this brings me to sort of my next point right here, which is essentially, I noticed this over on Reddit, and more than 100 tokens listing every day on Uniswap, 95% gets rug pulled in under 5 minutes. I don't know why this isn't looping. I guess it's just a one-time play. But yeah, scammers, DeFi, food-themed, shit coins, right? So the question is when is enough enough? When are we actually going to get bored of trying to chase these hype trains? Now, I will have to say that there are some legit DeFi applications out there, but recently it's gotten pretty ridiculous, very tiring. As you guys notice, I've kind of slowed down on talking about DeFi because personally right now, it has just gotten absolutely sloppy, crazy. Yield farming isn't producing, as much returns as it was before. Lots of different copycat projects coming out, tons of rug pulls, people getting scammed. So it needs to get cleaned up right now. And during this time of uncertainty, I think that it will kind of discourage people to sort of get involved in these things and sort of make people want to get back into things like Bitcoin and Ethereum and, the ones that are, I don't want to call them stable, but they're legit. And even though, yes, you're not going to make 300%, in a day, holding Bitcoin has proven to be sort of the best strategy long term, right? So that could also be something to bolster the Bitcoin price / adoption / I'm not really sure what else to say. Just sort of the confidence, I guess, in Bitcoin, right? Now, is DeFi dead? Does that mean the end of DeFi? Well, no. I think decentralized finance is huge, and I still do see a need for, obviously things like Ethereum, smart contracts, NFTs. In fact, check out this story. NBA Top Shot Crypto Collectibles Experience launches to the public. That's right. NFTs are coming to the NBA, launching in a public open beta today after a few months with a closed group of testers that reportedly generated about $2 million in revenue. You had Dapper Labs' NBA Top Shot pairs the classic hobby of collecting cards with some modern technology twists, video-infused moments, along with the blockchain-powered ability to collect, buy, and sell. So basically, you have these NFTs that are coming, and, instead of a pack of cards, it's like a virtual pack of cards, right? So you have the little box, the 3D box image, you open it up, and instead of your cards, you actually have little snippets of highlights in video form. And this is all on the blockchain. So this just goes to show that the world is becoming digital, right? Lots of digital things now. People are used to collecting digital items in games, except now you can actually own them in the form of NFTs. And now we have NFTs as collectibles, being these NBA cards, except it's animated little short videos that you can trade and own in your own wallet. So definitely still just the beginning. I think we're still very early on this. I think the world is just starting to catch on to why an NFT, right? Why not just a centralized thing? Well, because you actually own that token or that card, whatever it is, right? Just like you would own an actual physical card, a baseball card or a basketball card or whatever it is, right? So that is something that I want to point out. Now, getting back to Ethereum, I just thought this was an interesting sort of thing I wanted to talk about. We have miners have made more money from gas or transaction fees on Ethereum than from actual rewards in September. And this is the first time this has ever happened in Bitcoin's history. They made about 172 million from fees last month, about 150 million from block rewards, taking the total revenue to 320 million, which means that it was actually more profitable from the fees than from mining the block rewards. Overall, Ethereum miners made 53.4% more in September than August. This is because of high fees on DeFi. Now, here is something interesting. It appears that the miners might be re-engineering blocks to take advantage of DeFi opportunities in an instance of what is termed miner extractable value, or MEV. Anonymous researcher Frank Topbottom highlighted several convincing instances of MEV in the wild in what is likely to be the first time these activities have been noticed by the public. He noted several cases of suspicious transactions mined by major pools like Spark Pool and F2 Pool. There were often these were often initiated by a small set of addresses and appeared first in blocks despite having a lower gas fee than others below. The behavior is not immediately explainable by legitimate activities like miner reward distributions, but it is also unclear what is the purpose of these transactions. So, hey, when there's money to be made, they will find a way to make the money. But talking about why Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is most likely here to stay, we have Goldman Sachs actively recruiting people to join its digital asset development team. There are currently 3 open positions, including a vice president role. The continued hiring is evidence that the bank is taking an increasingly proactive approach to crypto assets. And finally, a story for my XRP army, for my XRP fans out there. Check this out, right? So SBI Esports, a subsidiary of Japanese financial services conglomerate SBI Group, announced that its esports players, so, esports, right, video games, would receive their salaries in XRP. They chose XRP going forward as part of a sponsorship deal with the venture capital firm VC Trade. There it is. It's a sponsorship deal. However, according to the official announcement, player salaries will be paid with XRP instead of fiat in order to strengthen the company's presence among esport players who also use digital currencies. SBI Esports, which is a longtime Ripple partner, said that the sponsorship deal is a way to diversify its portfolio within the blockchain industry. Their goal is to create and nurture a healthy market based on customer centricity, improve prices, and expand liquidity. So, with all that being said, let me know, are you looking forward to an OctoBEAR? Are we going to have a bearish October? Or do you think that we've already been priced in, like Tom Lee said, and that we may have a little bit of a dip? We may retest, this trend line right, where was it? Right here. Maybe come back down to about the 9,500s, or do you think our inverse fractal will play out and we'll be going down to 6,000? Or do you think that it's not going to be bearish at all and everyone's on the wrong side of the trade this time and we're going straight to the moon? I'm very curious to hear what you do have to say. Either way, I do think that this month is going to be very interesting, and in yesterday's video, I did say I do expect some volatility. I mean, the price has to move soon, right? It's been very boring these past few days. So let me know what you think below. Always interested in your opinion as well. I love to read all of your comments. Thank you so much. If you haven't joined the free Telegram group, links below in the description. But that is it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. My name is K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie, and you're freaking awesome, if you didn't already know that. But that being said, thank you for coming back. You guys rock. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course,